What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of MavAttack and back-to-back reviews, though. Yes, sir, we're getting into it. So we're here to review The Flame in the Flood. Now, The Flame in the Flood caught me off guard. It caught me off guard in a huge way. I had no expectations going into the game, and I was pretty surprised by this survival indie game with an actual story. An actual story. Developed and published by the Molasses Flood. This game is pretty good. It's pretty good, so just enjoy the review. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Story.
Since this game has a sort of loose narrative, but you can really follow it, it immediately earns brownie points from myself for being one of the only, if not first, survival games to be finished and have a fully fleshed story that you can actually follow as you progress. So you play as Scout, a girl lost in the backwaters of a forgotten post-societal America. You meet your dog companion Aesop, and you two set out on an adventure to ultimately reach safety. The narrative is really fueled on hope. See, the idea that at the end of your journey you'll find safety and freedom from the harsh wilderness and conditions that you'll face in the world. Although it's a light roguelike survival game with survival elements, the story comes at a good time in the survival genre and does enough to really keep you wanting to progress in the game, meet new people, and find out what's in the next area that you're about to venture out to. It's all about the hope. It's all about having the hope for a better future, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like progressing, working, and it's just, it's cool. It's cool to have a survival game that you can look forward to seeing what's about to come around every corner.
Gameplay.
The gameplay feels great controlling Scout. I use the Xbox One controller, but also the keyboard and mouse does feel really good. You can harvest materials from grabbing plants to looting containers, cars, and houses, which all go into your backpack, Aesop's bag, your dog, or if you're close enough, your raft, which all play a really huge part in the survival experience in The Flame in the Flood. You ride your boat, which can be damaged or eventually destroyed down procedurally generated rivers where you can stop off at different locations to scavenge, rest up, or run for your life, because honestly, the predators in this game are here and they are freaking ruthless, and if you're ill-equipped, like no traps, no tainted meat, no weapons, etc., they can end your run easily end your run. You can upgrade your raft, backpack, many other items that make your time surviving even easier. The game features a story mode, but then it also features the endless mode, which I feel like the endless mode seems to fit in a game like this a little bit better, as you don't always know what's around the corner and you try to survive for every step that you take. You know, every step you take is all about survival. There's not really an end goal. But overall, the gameplay is just damn near perfect. If you break your leg, you need to craft something that you can fix that broken leg with. If you get a laceration, you gotta stitch it up, or you gotta bandage it. You know, if you're starving, you gotta eat food, but what kind of food do you have? You have berries? You can eat berries, but you gotta eat them in moderation or you'll have diarrhea. Or if you have meat from a captured animal, you can either cook it, or if you have salt, you can dry it and then save it for later. It doesn't expire. There's just so much. There's just so much in the game, and there's a lot that you would expect in a survival crafting game, but it's reasonable. It's not over the top and you don't have to continue grinding and grinding and grinding for resources to survive. It's also not that easy because sometimes you really need a resource and it's not on the island or the land that you're in, so you have to travel to the next land on your raft and then move on and see if you can find it. There's a lot of elements in the survival that really makes it easy for you, but they can also play against you, and for that I really respect it. And like I said, the gameplay is damn near perfect, but I did expect a few bugs, and you know, there's a lot of stuff that I personally encountered in the game that I wasn't a fan of, so let's get on with that stuff.
Things I liked.
The soundtrack and the sound design in the game are awesome. It's amazing. It's got this backwoods country sound to it, but it's also got this great ambience when you're riding down the rivers on your raft, or when you're in the middle of the forest and the ambiance is just creeping up on you and you're walking through trying to find the predators, or if there's anybody around you. The sound design and the original soundtrack, just everything about this game, sound-wise, is awesome. The sound design, they did it right. Like I mentioned earlier, there's survival stuff that's actually survival. You know, you have to make a stint to fix a broken leg. You have to make a sewing kit to cure lacerations out of a fishing hook and fishing line. Different things work the way you would think they would work in a survival situation. The riverboat feature adds a really different spin to the game. Not only do you have to survive and take care of yourself, you have to take care of the boat. You have to make sure that the boat is not going to break. The boat has a health system, and if you smack into too many objects, the boat can actually just collapse and you will die in the river. So you have to constantly be taking care of your boat. You can find upgrades out in the world where if you stop at a boat station, you can lift the boat up, and then you can apply upgrades such as getting a new motor for your boat, or getting more storage for your boat, or a shelter on your boat. You know what I'm saying? So there's different things. The boat really serves as a third a third protagonist here, with Scout being the first one, Aesop, your dog, being the second, and then the boat being its own entity entirely. So the boat is a great way to show you different types of management, and also, you know, just the simple fact that you need the boat to get from one place to another, and if you don't have boat upgrades, then you can't get to one place or the other, which is a real big pain in the fucking ass, but, you know, it happens. You deal with it.
Things I disliked.
Sometimes items would glitch or clip through other items. There was just a lot of visual hiccups and stuff I ran into. Nothing that ruined the gameplay experience. Another annoying thing is a raft not going in the direction you want, but like I stated before, you can actually upgrade your rudder so you can actually, you know, turn faster. You can also get a motor, which makes it so you can go kind of backwards almost. Because you're always going downstream, there's never really a chance to backtrack and check out the stuff that you passed. You just keep going down and you keep progressing forward. So if you miss something, you can't go back to it. Or if it's kind of to the right out of your reach and you don't have an upgraded boat, you're gonna fucking miss it, because the boat is so clunky when you don't have certain upgrades. The dialogue is weird. It's like broken English kind of, so I'm not sure if the developers are not from the United States. Maybe they're not from the United States, so they don't exactly speak that natively, but I did notice some of the dialogue just sounded weird. The words that they were saying, some things were misspelled, so I noticed that immediately. That was like a big whoa to me. It took me a long time to get used to the UI. I'm still not exactly used to it, you know, how to use each thing. You know, left trigger on the Xbox One controller brings up your quick menu, which you can eat fast, you can deploy fast, but sometimes I would just go straight into my backpack, and just the UI can get a little confusing sometimes, so that's something I'm still trying to get used to. Not exactly used to it, but I'm trying. And then finally, dying and restarting at a checkpoint is cool, because once you die in the main story, you can actually restart at a checkpoint, so you don't have to start your whole story run over again, but you lose everything. You lose damn near every supply, so you could be really far into the game at some really difficult spots where you're fighting bears, or you're encountering things that you know, super duper harsh cold conditions, but you don't have the gear that you had before you died. So now you got to try to scrounge for the stuff you had before, and then also stuff that will keep you alive and well during these new conditions and these harder levels. So that was just a pain in the ass. I guess that's a way to say don't fucking die, I guess. Overall, Through the Flame and the Flood has some really awesome survival, like I said, rogue-lite gameplay elements, where you're really just traveling down this river, you're trying to survive, you're trying to help yourself get to your destination, or if you're playing endless mode, you're just trying to survive. Either way you look at it, The Flame and the Flood is a really fun indie game, a really great survival game too. I mean, there's games like Don't Starve, other more 3D first-person open-world survival games, but none of these games really had the charm. I guess Don't Starve had the charm because it had the art direction that it did have, had that kind of Tim Burton-esque 2D mixed with 3D vibe with it, but it seemed to not have a story. These games don't have stories. This is one of the only complete survival games that I've played that I've been able to say that has a story to it, and it's complete, it's done, it's out of early access. So do I recommend A Flame in the Flood? Definitely. If you like challenging survival games, it's not multiplayer, it's single player, but if you like challenging survival games, that roguelite feel of, you know, it's got a different twist to it, you got to take care of your boat, you got to take care of yourself, but then there's also an end goal, I'd say definitely consider the game. Regular price is $19.99, but on sale currently, once this video drops at least, it's $17.99, so it's 10% off, but I say definitely give it a try. I think it has enough between its story and its endless mode to really keep you playing, wanting to survive another day. You know, it's just a really fun ass game. I've played 4.7 hours and I still have not had enough of the game. I'm still like ready to jump. I want to jump back in talking about it right now. So with all that being said, The Flame and the Flood is a great freaking game. Very great game. I definitely recommend considering it, checking it out. If not, at least watch some gameplay on it, see if it's your type of game. But thank you guys all so much for watching this episode of MavAttack. If this review helped you out in any way, shape, or form, please attack that like button. I want to say thank you guys one more time, because I always over the top redundant say it all the time, but I appreciate you all. All you He-Mavs stay rad, all you She-Mavs stay fab. I'll see you guys on the next episode of MavAttack. Motherfucker.
Yo, listen, tell me when to go. Listen, Crispy in the fucking kitchen whipping. Alright.